Hi everyone, my name is Heaven Aguileta. I wanted to talk to you today about why I became a vegetarian. I became a vegetarian in July 2013, about a month after I became a born again Christian. I do believe that becoming a born again Christian had something to do with it because it literally was like a month later. And so, anyways, so what happened was I used to make scrambled egg and cheese and vegetable burritos for my kids, and then my daughter, she was 3 years old at the time, and she would cry every time I would make that. And I would ask her, why she was crying, and she would say, because we're eating baby chickens. And so I waited till like we ran out of meat, like chicken, eggs, whatever meat I used to buy. I waited till we ran out of that, and then I went on YouTube and I started doing research about how the animals were killed and stuff like that. And I've always been very sensitive, and so once I see something, I kind of never forget it. And so I could still see the image in my mind from when I watched it on YouTube all those years ago. And so basically, I saw like chickens being hung upside down with their throat cut. I remember their screams, and the other chickens were in the cages watching the other chickens getting murdered. And just imagine they were already terrified before they even got murdered. And so that traumatized me to see that. And then also the cows, I saw the cows that actually get shot in the head. They just put them like in this little stall where all they can do is stand up, and then they just shoot them in the head. That's the most humane thing that I've seen. But then there's like the pigs. I don't know why, but the pigs, before they even were slaughtered, were being abused on the farm, and like kicked around and just treated really bad, just being abused. And the only thing that I wish is that I was a vegetarian my entire life. Like when you're a kid, they give it cute names. Your mom's not like, hey honey, you want pig for dinner? Honey, you want cow for dinner, or you want pig for dinner? They give it cute names so that kids don't even know what they're eating. Like they say, ignorance is bliss. So they call it pork instead of pig. They call it beef instead of cow. And had I even, like, I know this sounds ignorant, but when I was a kid and I was eating meat, I didn't even know I was eating animals. I loved animals so much, if someone would have told me like, hey, that's an animal that you're eating, I probably wouldn't eat it anymore. So, but the point is, I never knew what I was eating because I was a kid and no one ever told me. And so I don't think that we should be held responsible for eating animals as kids, because we just eat whatever is given to us. But I think that once we become adults, that we should do our research. And I'm not telling anyone what they should do, but I think that knowledge is power, and if you do your research and actually see the hell that these animals go through before they even die, just imagine, like, we could have been born of chicken, we could have been born a cow. We never we didn't control that we were born as a human being. So how would you feel if you were born a chicken and then you just got killed just because someone enjoyed the taste of you? You know? And I love animals, and when people say, oh, I love chicken, they're talking about chicken on their plate. Well, you know what? I love chicken too, but I love chicken alive and well and not being tortured. And I love all animals. And I actually became a vegan maybe like a few years ago. And my oldest daughter that used to cry when I would make the egg burritos, she's now a raw food vegan, and that's like the healthiest diet that anyone could have, raw food vegan. It's literally like being Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden and just eating raw food in the Garden of Eden. But anyways, so yeah, I just wanted to encourage everyone to, to do their research and think about it. Like, when I eat, God made so many amazing things to eat that I don't want an animal to have to suffer for me to eat. You know what I mean? And just the thought of, like, an animal had to die for me to eat this meal, like, that's just horrible to me. That's a horrible concept. I feel like it would make me lose my appetite to think that, like, an animal got tortured and murdered so that I could. And yeah, I'll probably lose some subscribers, but you know what? Like I said, knowledge is power. Don't just be in the dark. Don't just, like, have morals, like, have morals, have values, and they're alive. To me, we're all equal. Animals and human beings, to me, are all equal, because God made all of us. And when he made us, he didn't say, okay, you guys are better than the animals. And you know what God told Adam and Eve after he made the animals? He said, take care of them. He said, name them. It's in the Bible. Name them and take care of them. And one of the 10 commandments is, thou shalt not kill. And even if you are not killing the animal yourself on a farm or wherever, even if you're not killing them yourself, but you're buying it, you're basically supporting the murder, and you're basically an accomplice. So if you eat animals, you're like an accomplice. You didn't do it yourself, but you're part of it. You're part of something bad. And so yeah, I don't want any animal to suffer because it tastes good, because there's so many other things that taste good. And anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to be a voice for the animals, because hundreds of thousands of them die every day, every single day, and they don't have a voice. And I wanted to encourage you to, I guess, to, don't eat blindly, Go on YouTube, see how, if you go on YouTube and look up how the animals are slaughtered and it doesn't affect you and it doesn't bother you, then by all means, but if you see it and you actually have a heart for them and it affects you, then it honestly will not be hard to become a vegetarian. For me, it was only hard for like the first month. And the thing that I missed the most was fish. And after, I gotta switch hands, my hand hurts. And after that 1 month, I stopped craving fish, because that was the only thing that I craved was like fish and tuna. And after the first month, I stopped craving meat, and it was just easy. There's just so many things, so many alternatives to eating dead animals, and it also it's good for it'll help you live longer. It'll help you maintain a healthier weight, and especially like it's good for the animals. Yeah, okay, well, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.